Alright guys, quick disclaimer. The airsoft replica and or parts in this video are not real firearms. And nothing shown works in real firearms either. So don't try it. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And everything here is strictly for airsoft use. Again, these are airsoft use only. And the moment you've been waiting for. Ta-da! Perun M14 ETU, finally. I'm excited, let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to do a first impressions unboxing, and then I'm going to install it in a completely stock CYMA M14 right here. Ooh, this is brand new CYMA M14. So Perun was so gracious to send me this guy, and I've been looking forward to it ever since Negative Airsoft posted about it on his YouTube channel. And I was like, man, I gotta get my hands on this thing. I didn't know this was even a thing. I wasn't even told about it, so here we are. So in this little baggie is the ETU itself. We'll get to that in a minute. I also plan on doing a full build of this M14 on a separate video, so stay tuned for that. And it's going to be on that M14 that's in this video. So get a little Allen wrench, programming card just like everything else, and I believe this QR code might be for the manual. I have to look it up. And then let's get the actual ETU itself out. So far this is literally that's in the box. So, no stickers to worry about so far, I think. Oh, wow. So, it's all one unit. Look at that. Hell yeah. So, it's a built-in clicker. Let's see. How does this work? We got this guy here and this guy here. Which I'm pretty sure this is for the cutoff lever inside the gearbox, so when the sector gear cycles, moves that up and down, and then therefore trips the hall sensor that's there. I think there's a sensor there. Oh no, it's not a hall sensor. It looks like an optical sensor, maybe. And then this guy right here is for possibly the selector switch. I'm not entirely sure. We'll look into that here in a little bit, but I haven't even looked at the manual yet. Oh, look at that. We got some clicking action. So there's our trigger detection right there. I imagine it sits like this. What am I saying? I'm going to pull the gearbox out of the damn M14 and show you guys anyway. Let's get the gearbox out and throw it on the table. Hooray! At the moment, I don't have access to the manual for this thing yet, obviously, because this hasn't been released as of this recording. Anyway, I studied the setup here, and some of the things I was right, and I've located a few things, so I'm going to point them out. All good things, just stuff that you should know. And these are features that I'm going to be pointing out. Anyway, so it looks like right off the bat when I was looking at this, and by the way, off camera, I had to desolder the connections, and we'll get to that in a minute. It looks like you don't have to take apart the entire M14. You just got to get the stock off so you gain access to this area, because this right here is the only thing you swap out. You can literally swap it out without pulling the gearbox out of the upper receiver, making this install very easy. So if you already have an M14 that's fully upgraded and this is the only thing you need to change out, you don't need to take off the upper portion off, as far as I can see. But for demonstration purposes, I took the whole gearbox out to make it easier to show you guys on camera, because the M14 was just making it a pain in the ass to record everything because of how long it is, because it was hitting the wall off to the side here. But I digress. So from the looks of it, we just have to take off these 4 screws, take this off, and then reutilize these 3 screws and attach it here. And if you look, this lever here, if we flip it on the back side, that's for your selector switch. So when this is pushed forward, either way, it's a semi or full auto, so you get to retain your selector switch on your M14. So that's awesome. And I was correct that this lever right here is for the sector gear cam to trip it so you get cycle detection. That's also amazing. And then right here is your magnet for the clicker, and then for the trigger detection you got your 2 magnets here so that when you pull the trigger it knows that you're pulling the damn trigger. So this set screw is for your over travel. This hole right here is for your pre-travel, so you can get rid of the take up on your trigger where you pull the trigger and it hits that wall and it clicks. So that's what that hole's for, and I think they mistakenly forgot the set screw there. This grub screw is for lighten up the amount of force that's needed for the click, so you can lighten up how much pull you need to pull the trigger. So awesome on that. And one thing I noticed is that the return on this lever here looks a little bit weak, because you can see that it kind of slowly goes back to the original position, and sometimes not all the way. There is an adjustment screw right here that I can adjust to increase, or basically push that spring into this a little bit harder, so this resets where it needs to be. So that's great that they add that adjustment there in case you have issues in that regard. This cutoff lever moves pretty damn smoothly, and the only concern that I have is that this part of the cutoff lever that interacts with the cam on the sector gear, since it's made out of this SLS 3D printed plastic, I wonder if it's going to last a long time. I seen this on Perun's P90 ETU and haven't seen an issue yet, but I'm curious to see how long that would last in terms of wear and tear. But the only way to know is put a shitload of rounds on it and find out. I think it'll be fine since it works just fine on the P90 and there's very little stress anyways, so I guess we'll see. And of course they have their silicon insulated wiring. Still not a fan of this type of insulation because it tears so easily. So if you put your stuff together and the wiring is not quite secured away from pinch areas or rubbing areas, this insulation strips real easy versus stuff like this that's already on these CYMAs. It's a bit stiffer coating and more resistant to abrasion, but usually I will put shrink wrap over these wires to help protect them. But I won't know for sure where I want to put them. But with that being said, the wiring itself looks like it's long enough to go down the stock itself. This is a tech preference of mine, but I do plan on snipping the connector off and then put a shrink wrap from end to end here, because I don't like having wires loose like this, because this increases the chance of the wires insulation getting stripped from like inserting your battery constantly. So over time it will eventually go crack open and then start ripping open and then you get a short, and yeah, it's not good. Anyway, I do like that they did that instead of doing a connection like this, which I think is pretty inefficient, because now you're adding another point of resistance to your wiring and therefore draw more than what's necessary out of your battery. And because it's so accessible, I might just do what CYMA did here and solder the wires on the connectors to the motor. Snip these off because I don't want to have to open up the M14 ever to fix one of these going loose on the motor for whatever reason. You guys don't have to do that, but this is just a preference of mine. That's what I plan on doing, so when you see it, that's why. Anyways, so I'm going to throw this on and see if it's just one of those things you can just drop in, screw it down, and it's ready to go. And I should be able to do all the programming and stuff like that, referencing off my programming card that I got with this thing. I'm also going to see about a set screw to put in there so that I can adjust that take up on the trigger. And I think this set screw back here for the post travel actually presses up against the screw once it's tight in. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and see how difficult it is to take this off and swap this on. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just fine. So one thing I want to point out real quick is that I didn't see earlier is that this piece right here is now your new axle that holds this in. So I don't think this is needed anymore, because it's this part right here that goes down in that spot and pushes this down. Alright, let's see if it just dropped right in. So line up the holes. Wow, that was easy. That was really easy. So far so good. Let's see if we can just reuse these ones. Don't think I want that too tight. I'll back them off a little bit. Might have to use Loctite on that, because I was noticing that when that was screwing down, it was squishing this, and don't want that. Alright, let's see. Get nothing on the trigger, and it's probably because we need that set screw there. So let me find a set screw. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to get a set screw like this long guy. So let's see if we need this entire length. Yep, there it goes. back this off this one a little bit. That one's a 1.5 mil. Now, this might be too long. I might have to get a shorter one put in here. Yeah, that's too much. A little bit more. There you go. See? Now you know how it works. I was just missing that damn set screw for some reason. But clearly, it's too long because I don't want it poking out that much. Because I don't think the stock on the M14 is going to sit nice and flat against this because that's sticking out. So I'm going to see if I got a shorter one first. So this tinier one does fit a little loose. I think I might go to this bigger one since it's more the correct length. So let's see if I can get it to fit in there. I doubt it because it's pretty big. There she goes. There we go. I'm sure the final production product is going to have set screw there already. I think they just forgot about it or something. But it's totally fine because you can get set screws like this from the hardware store. Worst case scenario. So I'll let them know. I'm going to let Perun know. What I should have mentioned in the beginning of the video is that this is a pre-production, not the final product. So it's almost ready. But this is showing you guys what to expect. Yeah, that is so cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and route the wires. I'm not going to solder them on yet. I'm going to save that for the build video and see how well it works with just using the plugins here. And those wires fit in there pretty snug, so be on the lookout for that. I got to figure out which one of these was positive. No worst case scenario, it doesn't turn over. Yeah, a little extra on the wiring. I mean, but I don't see any indication of positive, negative. There's a 50-50 chance of getting it right. When I do a test on this, I'm only going to use a 7.4. Jesus Christ, that's going on tight. It's probably because that leftover solder's still on there. Screw it. I'll be replacing it anyways. Oh, that was good and tight. That's very good. Wiring straight. Yeah, look at that. Should, honestly, don't think you need this much positive wire. Because it's going right there. Excess can hurt. But if I was going to put this back in the stock, I would definitely snip this to length so that there wouldn't be excess there. Yeah. But anyways, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to plug it in. The reason why these are going in so tight is because there's leftover solder on the connections. Okay, that should be good enough. Alrighty, let's see if I plugged them in the right way. Since it's a brush motor, I don't have to worry about hurting anything. The worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to try to go backwards. So in this case, I'm going to use a 7.4 LiPo. Pull the trigger once to see if I got it right. And if it cycles, great. So let's find out. So far so good. Let's see if I got the right way. Yep. 50-50 chance. It locked up, so it hit that anti-reversal latch, so I definitely got them backwards. So let's go ahead and swap them over. Alright, here we go. Okay, so that's full auto. This should be semi. Nope. You know what? It just dawned on me. Sensor check. If this works like any Perun unit, when you unplug the motor and plug in the battery, it goes in sensor check mode. Okay, so if I pull the trigger, that light should change color. Okay, so it's saying that it's detecting the trigger. Cool. Okay, I think there's a calibration thing that I'm missing here. Because now it's blinking blue. So I'm gonna see if I can figure this out.
5 minutes later.
Yep, that's all it was. Need a selector switch calibration. I did run the screw in a little bit to make that lever come back with this guy a little bit better. So I set the semi-auto to be in the forward position. So when I turn it this way, it's in semi, and if I go this way, it's full auto. So just to show you it's working now. Now we'll go back. So hooray, works great. Now as far as the programming goes, it works just like the Perun version 2 hybrid or version 3 hybrid. To set the programming in semi-auto, you put it in semi-auto first, and then you run it back and forth twice to go in programming mode for semi. And then it's the opposite for full auto. You put it on full auto first, and you go back and forth twice, and then you just follow your card or the manual. When Perun releases this ETU, they will have a manual that will come with it, either by QR code or actually have it with it. But usually you have to scan a code and download the manual, which is no big deal. There's going to be a section of how to calibrate the semi-auto, but I figured it out on my own. It was actually pretty easy. But aside from that, I really like it. I mean, it's working exactly the way it should. So the only question I have is the long-term durability of that cutoff lever in this guy. That is my only concern. Setting the take-up for the trigger, you don't need that spring anymore because this guy does it for you. I mean, you don't have to have the spring. But anyways, but aside from that, stay tuned for the build on this M14. I'm really excited to get it all together because I'm doing a complete overhaul. I'm even going to enlarge the bearings to 8mm. That's something I'm planning to make it an absolutely amazing DMR replica. Gonna shoot 4.0s and be able to shoot at least 100 yards, hopefully. So we'll see. But aside from that, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button to help getting this video out to more people, such as yourselves, and to help this channel grow more so you guys get more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.